step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and splinter, I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Before the Horn podcast. I am your host, Dino. As well, hosting with me, I got my boy, Khalil.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
And I got my boy, Dede.
I guess I got to be an energy source today, so I'm going to bring it. What's good?
Hey, let's get it. Y'all already know this episode 5, man. We're coming back with another one. We got some good topics here. We got our first topic is going to be the week 1 preseason top performers, who we think, performed good in that week 1 game, in their week 1 game. We're going to have the top 10 inside linebackers going into the 2023 NFL season. That's one that we got rolling in with every position for every podcast we got coming up. We got our top 5 teams in the Pac-12 conference, plus the conference winner who we think is going to win that conference in that number 1 spot. We're going to go through every Power 5 conference going forward until the season starts. And then to end it off, we got the James Harden drama, what he got going on, the things that was said, and everything else. There, you could kick us away.
Well, first off, we're going to give a moment of silence to USFL running back Alex Collins. He passed away at the age of 28 years old. Collins was known for his stints with the Seattle Seahawks and the Baltimore Ravens. He's playing for the USFL currently. So let's give a brief moment of silence for Alex Collins. All right. RIP to his family. Make sure they remain strong and everything. All right. So for the first topic, we're going to talk about our week 1 preseason top performers in our opinions. We're going to give a couple names and talk about how they stood out and how that can get them on a roster spot going into week 1 of the 2023 NFL season. Hey, Dennis, you kick this one off, bro.
I mean, I got a couple that I like on here that I was watching myself. First, I want to give, I'm going to give some love to the undrafted rookies. I always love when people come undrafted and they come out and they do some things and try to earn themselves a roster spot. Maybe, earn themselves some playing time during the season. I just love to see it. But for a couple rookies that I like Ronnie Hickman at Ohio State, man. He had 2 picks for the Browns. The safety, he had 2. He also had 5 tackles and 2 pass deflections. I mean, I love that. You come out, you get 2 picks. That's how you earn yourself a roster spot. You know what I'm saying? Also, the rookie Elijah Dotson from Northern Colorado, the running back. He had a pretty good day. He had, 92 yards off of 6 carries with 2 touchdowns. So again, man, that's a way that you come in and you come in, earn yourself a roster spot and get a chance to, run the ball during the season. From my team, the Eagles, I love the Eli Ricks. I love that pick 6 that he had. He also had 2 pass deflections in the game and the tackle. He came in undrafted out of LSU. I love that we got him. I felt like that was a steal. I feel like him not being drafted in general was just crazy. But I mean, those is a couple of the undrafted, some of the undrafted rookies. Also, Aiden O'Connell, quarterback for the Raiders. He had himself a day too, going 15 for 18 for 141 yards and a touchdown.
He did kill it.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm not gonna lie. This guy who I'm about to bring up too, he didn't have like the biggest day, but I liked what I've seen out of him for him to come in and actually be like a number 2 running back, and that's Deuce Vaughn. He only had 50 yards for 8 carries, but he had a touchdown. And I just like seeing what I see for him. He's like what, 5'6"?
Like
5'6", 5'5", even shorter than that. I mean, the odds are gonna be stacked against him regardless. So for him to come in and actually show that he can run the ball on the NFL defense, I feel like that means a lot. And the Cowboys just lost. Well, they didn't just lose him, but they lost Ezekiel Elliott, so they needed number 2 in that spot. And I feel like Deuce Vaughn for coming in actually probably shake something from them. Just a couple other things I've seen. Malik Willis, I feel like what he did in his game, he showed at least improvement from him being a number 3 quarterback right now. He was 16 of 25. He had an interception, but that was off the hands of his tight end. So, I mean, I don't think that was the worst situation for him. I feel like he showed at least some improvement. That's really it for me. I like DJ Moore and I feel like the DJ Moore and Justin Fields connection is gonna go good. DJ Moore did a lot after the catch for him. So, and what y'all got?
Hey, Lil, you on the clock, bro.
Um, so the things that I took away from preseason week 1, pretty much this rookie class looks legit from JSN to Tank Dell to Jordan Addison to Quentin Johnston. They all went out there. They showed how they performed. They showed their talent. 3 of them that went in the first round. Tank Dell was, I think, a 3rd round pick, but he showed he flashed and he showed what he needed to show, that he could be a crucial part into the offense. Another thing that I took away from this week is the Bills' offense. I think they're going to be a little bit more electric than they have been in past, especially with the addition of DJ Moore. You see him take a 2-yard screen to the crib, stuff like that. They didn't really get none of that within the past 2 years of Justin Fields being there. So it's just going to open up the field and open up the game so they could do a little bit more. Another thing that I witnessed is that Patriots D-line is legit. Like, they were getting after CJ Stroud. Like, and that's without Matthew Judon there right now. So you add him to that lineup, Bill Belichick is going to have that defense ready to play. And I think that defense is going to be legit. Always is.
Always.
They just put people on notice. Another thing that I like looking down the road is that Zach Wilson's learning from Aaron Rodgers. And it shows in his performances. He's taking what's given to him. He's not doing too much. He's not trying to look for the big play or anything like that. He's taking what the defense gives to him. He's showing the upside of why he was drafted number 2 overall. And he's making a case that he can be the successor to Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he just needed to sit for a couple years, learn behind a veteran quarterback. Sometimes that's all it takes. Another takeaway, I like what I've seen from the Saints offense-wise. There's not really much you could take away from the preseason, but when you go out there, new quarterback, Michael Thomas coming back, new tight end, backup tight end, you go out there, you march down 70 yards. Alvin Kamara, he's going to be out for 3 games, but he looked explosive as well on a few runs that he had. So those little takeaways that you can build off of and see. And if that offense can get up to where that defense is, the Saints may make some more noise than people may suggest. On the other hand, some things that I didn't like that were very concerning to me. Rookie quarterbacks, first-round quarterbacks, they did okay. They showed that while they're rookies. They did show a little flashes, but they all showed that they need growth and development. We kind of knew that coming in, but you kind of seen like where they need to grow and stuff like that. Another concerning thing was the Broncos offense. I'm very concerned. I actually watched that game live. They played 4 drives into the second quarter. They struggled against the first team defense of the Arizona Cardinals. We don't have no expectation for that team. So they're struggling against a team like that. They didn't score a touchdown until they was playing against the backups, and it didn't look pretty against their backups either. So I think they have a tall task, especially with, the comments that Sean Payton has been making recently in headlines. Personally, I don't know if you can get Russ back to where he was a few years ago. Me personally, I've been out on Russ for a while, even before he got to Denver. But it kind of just reassures like what I've been seeing. I don't know how much noise this offense is going to make. The offensive line is shaky. They was getting pressure on Rush. Rush just looked uncomfortable. And the issue is Rush cannot extend plays like he used to. You kind of see he's not as athletic as he used to, so he needs more easy, quick throws. He had the second longest release. So he held the ball longest. The only person who held it longer than him was Kenny Pickett. So that's an issue there. And then my last takeaway was Trey Lance and his performance. His stat line wasn't bad. He threw 10 for 15, went in a touchdown, but it just did not look good. It did not look comfortable from offensive line standpoint. He was not making his reads quick enough. I don't know if, they're putting him in the best position to win. In my opinion, you got to give him some easy stuff, easy dink and dunks, just get him going. Later in that second quarter, he led them down the field. You kind of see like he started to get his rhythm going. So maybe you do more stuff like that. But that was very concerning on some of the stuff that I've seen just earlier in that game within that offense and how that game was going.
Those are some good takeaways for week 1, Khalil. Hey, for preseason. Yeah, I'm gonna end this one off, man. My top performer for week 1, I'm gonna list 3 of them. I'm gonna start off with Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR, man. Guy was a steal from 5th round draft pick, Cleveland Browns. He played phenomenal. 231 total yards, 2 touchdowns, 135 passer rating. He looked great. I feel like he's gonna be the Browns. He could squeeze himself into the QB2 role or QB3 role. He's gonna be fighting for that spot, but I feel like he's gonna solidify himself through preseason, the QB2 role behind Deshaun Watson. I can see it. I mean, he looked great, but obviously he has to continue that on, and we'll see going down the line. My second top performer for week 1 preseason, Tyson Anderson, cornerback for the Bengals. He could earn the starting safety spot.
He did his thing.
I mean, they brought in 2 safeties. He's probably going to be the backup safety if he continues a good preseason and camp as well with joint practice and everything. But he had 2 interceptions against Green Bay, including a pick 6. He looked pretty darn good. You can't lie about that. You can't take that away. What more do you want from a person that's trying to earn a roster spot? Hopefully even competing for a starting spot on Cincinnati Bengals, who need help at safety after letting go Jesse Bates and Von Bell this past offseason.
That's a fact.
Last but not least, this is a quarterback that I feel like he just needs a new change. I feel like last year, in a way, he was done dirty, but when he played, he didn't look great. He didn't look comfortable. And just like Dino said, Malik Willis, like this is the improvement I wanted to see. He looked way more comfortable in a Titans offense. He threw 16 to 25, 189 yards. He ran a touchdown. He threw one interception as well. But again, it wasn't his fault. Just like Dennis said, it went off his tight end's hands. And all we talked about last year with Malik Willis was that he could just run the ball. But he only ran the ball 3 times for 22 yards, and he ran a touchdown. So that means he's not taking off and scrambling as much, which he got criticized for last year by Mike Vrabel. So, hey, Malik Willis, I feel like that's good enough in my eyes. Like, he has to improve. Again, we saw the Titans draft Will Levis in a draft this year to succeed Ryan Tannehill because I guess they aren't confident in Malik Willis as their QB2. He'll definitely be the QB3, but hey, if he keeps doing good, I mean, he could be the QB3. They could also use him as a trade bait to get him out of Tennessee, to get him starting somewhere else. Hopefully, it's gonna be.
That's the only thing I think. That's the only thing I think gonna happen with him.
Honestly. But
I think he's gonna be trade. I think he's just gonna improve his trade stock, and that's just it.
But again, with Malik Willis though, he has to continue this on. He has to continue looking comfortable in the Titans offense. He has to take what's there and do his proper reads, take his steps, deliver accurate balls. I mean, he has a pretty good arm, but his accuracy is shaky. But again, he looked pretty comfortable in the Titans offense. Let's see if Malik Willis can continue that in year 2. But hey, those are our week 1 top performers of the preseason. Let us know in the comment section who y'all think performed really well in the preseason. Any takeaways from the week 1 preseason? Who performed bad? Let us know what y'all think about our picks. Moving into the next topic, going with rankings going into the 2023 season, we're going to talk about who we think the top 10 inside linebackers heading into this upcoming season. Again, that's going from 10 to 1, our top 10 inside linebackers. And I'm going to start this one off. You already know, I'll be having the best list out of everybody. Let's be real. So, hey, the best guy is going to kick this one off. Coming in at number 10, I got linebacker Bobby Wagner, Seattle Seahawks. Now, Bobby Wagner, longtime Seattle Seahawk. He left for 1 season when he played in LA. He did pretty good there. Only reason why I have him at number 10, mostly because of his age. He's not as fast anymore, but he still racks up a lot of tackles. He's still a vet in that locker room and on that team. So that's what Seattle needs. They need veteran leadership, especially at the linebacker spot. They need help. So him coming back to Seattle is going to help them big time. But he isn't what he used to be. He used to be top 3. He used to be the best. But obviously with age, and as these younger linebackers get better, he's at that number 10 spot. At number 9, I got Jermaine Pratt, Cincinnati Bengals. Jermaine Pratt has really come on these last couple years since coming into the league. We've seen it in the 2021 season. We've seen it last season. He's been very pivotal impact plays on that Bengals defense, which is kind of a shaky defense, but they get the job done. He's one of the anchors of that defense that helps get the job done. He also got Logan Wilson on the side of him, but out of the 2, I feel like Jermaine Pratt is a little bit better. He's at number 9. Now, from 8 to 1, this is where it gets kind of tough, but I'm just keeping it real. At number 8, I got Shaq Leonard, Indianapolis Colts. Now, Shaq Leonard, he's had injuries that has derailed him and kept him out the start lineup. when he has played, he hasn't looked the same. He's still a great side-to-sideline linebacker. He still can cover as well, but he obviously dropped out of that top 5 due to his injuries and inconsistent play in the last couple of years. So, hey, Shaq Leonard, you got to have a bounce-back year to get back in that top 5. Number 7, I got Tremaine Edmunds, Chicago Bears. Edmunds has been on the Buffalo Bills the past 4 or 5 years. He's coming into a new defense. He's coming into a young, promising team, and he's going to bring that veteran leadership alongside of TJ Edwards to help get that Chicago Bears defense back right. Edmunds has been one of the brightest young linebackers in this league for a while now. So let's hope he can continue in Chicago. Number 6, I got DJ Greenlaw, San Francisco 49ers. Now, in my opinion, he's alongside one of the best linebackers in the NFL, and Fred Warner. But DJ Greenlaw has been a stout member of that Niners defense since he came in the league. I mean, the guy has played in the Super Bowl, multiple NFC championships. He's made impact plays alongside of Fred Warner. That defense is already phenomenal. He's one of the reasons why it's relevant and remaining phenomenal up there with one of the best defensive units in the NFL. He comes in at number 6 on my list. At number 5, I got Levante David, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, a lot of people are going there was a lot of talk earlier with David's injuries and him getting up there in age. Is Devin White better than him? I'm going to say no. Devin White has regressed since the Super Bowl season that they had in 2020. Devin White's not even top 15 in my opinion anymore. David, his career has resurged. He's a great cover linebacker. He's a great tackling linebacker. He make the proper reads. He still can move sideline to sideline. You know, he's up there in age a little bit, but Levante David is still one of those guys. We got to put respect on him. Hey, offensive coordinators, they looking for 54. They know how smart he is on the field. At number 4, I got Matt Milano, Buffalo Bills. Milano used to struggle with coverage sometimes. We see, if he's the one spying the quarterback, he can have trouble. We've seen Lamar Jackson put him a couple moves on him. We've seen other quarterbacks put a couple moves on him. But as time went on, Matt Milano has definitely gotten a lot better. He's one of the best pieces, in my opinion, if not the best piece on that Buffalo Bills defense. He's the quarterback of that defense. He makes a lot of great plays for Buffalo. He helps out everywhere on defense. I mean, he's become a better coverage linebacker as time has went on as well. Man coverage, he's still a little iffy, but zone coverage, that guy can cover. He still can make great tackles. He can still move side to sideline, and that's what all Sean McDermott wants on that defense. And number 3, I got Demario Davis, New Orleans Saints. Now, Demario Davis, when he was on the Jets, his last couple of years on the Jets, that's where he became who we know as him today. The Saints got him for a good steal. I mean, ever since coming to New Orleans, he's been arguably probably a top 3 player on that defense besides Cam Jordan and Marshawn Lattimore. But Davis, honestly, he is the best player on that defense. No disrespect to Marshawn Lattimore or Cam Jordan. Davis has been a captain for years. He's a great man on and off the field. He can cover his tackle. He reads great plays. He can tackle very well. He does everything Dennis Allen needs of him for that Saints defense. And the Saints defense is always going to be a top 10 defense, mainly because of him. At number 2, I got Roquan Smith, Baltimore Ravens. Roquan was traded mid-season last year from the Bears to Ravens. The Bears were disappointed. He requested a trade. He went out of Chicago. I don't blame him. That team was abysmal last year. But talk about the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about a team that always has had a top 10 defense for decades. Even after Harbaugh came in, they've had a top 10 defense for decades, and he keeps that going. Adding Roquan Smith last year was one of the best things they could have done. Now, all Baltimore has to do, though, is stay healthy. Roquan, he can stay healthy. He can cover. He's still very young. He can go sideline to sideline. He makes great tackles. He was top 5 in tackles last year. His Pro Football Focus grade was very high last year. I think he's the second best linebacker in this league. And obviously, number 1, I got Fred Warner, San Francisco 49ers. Ever since coming to the league, in my opinion, this guy has been a top 10 linebacker. He can cover. He's smart. He reads offense very, very well. He's had Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans as defensive coordinators, and they have elevated his game coming out of BYU ever since he was a rookie. And he's now the captain, the centerpiece of that Niners defense. He's the best player on the defense. I think he's a top 5 defensive player in this league as a whole. But I love Fred Warner. I've always been a fan of him since his rookie year. I think he's going to continue to be the best linebacker in this league moving forward. I'll say the next 5 years. I'm not even trying to be funny. But that's my top 10 inside linebackers list. And Khalil, you next, bro.
Wow. All right. Well, your list is all right, but I got the better list.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, though. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
List was all right.
At number 10, I got Drake Greenlaw. He had 127 tackles and an interception last year. Playing on that stout 49ers defense. Playing right next to Fred Warner. Playing behind that great defensive line as well, Nick Bosa. So he's a guy that makes plays sideline to sideline. They kind of like him and Fred Warner, kind of like the new Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman that they used to have back in the day. But that guy's a dog. At number 9, I got Shaq Leonard. He was pretty injured, beat up last year. I think he only played 3 games, started in 1. But the year before that, he had 122 tackles and 4 interceptions. 2021, he has an argument to be top 5 linebacker in the NFL. His issue is his health. If he could stay healthy, I see no problem with him climbing back up into that top 5. But until he gets healthy, I can't put him in my top 5. At number 8,
this coming from, sorry to interrupt, but this coming from a guy that don't like Shaq Leonard. Let me just put that out there.
What do you mean I don't like Shaq Leonard?
Every time we talk about Shaq Leonard, you say you go on a rant.
Because when you talk about it, you talk about him like he's up here. Like, don't get me wrong, his talent is, but he hasn't played, bro. Stop it. I'm surprised you even put him at 8. But at number 8, I got Matt Milano. He had 99 tackles last year, 2.5 sacks, and 3 interceptions. He's good. He could cover. He's getting better. He's growing as a player. Don't get me wrong, especially in that Buffalo defense. He's another guy, I think, who's playing around some great talent as far as Tremaine Edmonds. That defensive line, when Von Miller was healthy, you have other guys on that defensive line like Ed Oliver, Gregory Rousseau. So that's another stacked defense, very underrated defense in my opinion. At number 7, I got Bobby Wagner. He's definitely not top 5 no more, but please put some respect on his name. The man did have 140 tackles, 6.5 sacks, and 2 interceptions last year. He's still one of them dogs on the field. If you turn on the tape and you watch the Rams defense of last year, your 45 jumped off your screen. If 45 was on the field, you better find 45 and you better get hands on him, or he's a flat out game record. No questions asked. At number 6, I got Levante David. He is the better of the 2 linebackers that they got down there in Tampa Bay. They had a lot of issues going on with that team. A lot of people regress. A lot of other issues outside of that team, but he was a bright spot. He's had 123 tackles, 3 sacks. He's still a dog that can cover sideline to sideline. Him and Devin White is a problem. Devin White did regress a little bit, but them 2 together is still a problem on the football field. And number 5, I got to give it to Tremaine Edmonds. If you turn on the tape and watch Buffalo's defense, 34 jumps off your screen at all times. That man plays sideline to sideline coverage. He's big. He's physical. He had 102 tackles last year. Every season he's played, he's had over 100 tackles, a sack, and an interception. Like, he's a flat-out dog. That was a big pickup for Chicago. And in my opinion, like, he's top 5. He can do it all. He has to get a little bit more consistent, but there's not really too many holes in his game. At number 4, I got the reigning Super Bowl champion, Nick Bolton. He had 180 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions. If you turn on that Kansas City defense, you better find 32. 32 is flying off your screen at all times. This is only year 2 for him. I feel like he's very underrated. I feel like behind Chris Jones, he's the next best player on that defense. He doesn't get the respect that he deserves. I feel like people on, like, Kansas City defense doesn't, like, the players on Kansas City defense just not going to get the respect that they deserve just because of Mahomes and what they got going there on the offensive side of the ball. But if you turn on the tape and you watch that film, 32 is jumping off your screen. He plays downhill. He's a physical linebacker. He's not afraid to get his nose in the hole, fill the gaps. Like, he's a flat-out dog. I feel like he's underrated on a lot of people's list. At number 3, I got Roquan Smith. He had 169 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and an interception last year. He's a dog playing on he got traded to the Ravens last year. He got his money like he deserved. He was one of them guys that just needed a big payday. I felt like it was good for him to get out of Chicago and go to Baltimore just because where Chicago was at as a team at that point. I think they just needed to move off of him, and they needed a change anyway. And he flashed for that Baltimore Ravens defense. He's going to be a hard-nosed, top-tier middle linebacker, especially in that AFC North. Number 2, I got Demario Davis. I feel like he don't get enough. I feel like he don't get enough credit for what he do. And I would do what, bro? Do what?
Bro, I knew he was gonna do that. Right when I heard you, you kept going higher. I was like, he gonna put Demario Davis at 2. But go ahead.
Do what, bro? Like, what do you mean?
He's not better than Roquan Smith.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He is. Yes,
All
he
right, Saints
is.
fan.
Any day of the
Saints
week.
fan.
Any day of the week. Yes, sir.
You're high.
Yes, sir. What
Continue,
do you mean,
though,
bro?
sir.
Watch the tape. Watch the tape.
I do
He's
watch the
everywhere.
tape.
He's
So is
everywhere.
Roquan Smith.
109 tackles, 6.5 sacks, and an interception. That man is everywhere on the field making plays. He can cover. He can run blitz. He can do it all, bro. If you watch the Saints defense, bro, that Saints defense go around him. Say it don't. If you watch it,
I'm not saying
talk about Cam Jordan and no, it revolves around him, bro.
I said that. I said that with my picks, but I don't think he's better than Roquan Smith.
He is better than Roquan Smith.
Okay,
he has a bigger impact on the game than Roquan Smith. I'm sorry to tell you, he has a bigger impact on the game than Roquan Smith. If you actually watch that defense with 56 on the field. And number one, Fred Warner. I don't really gotta say too much. Best linebacker in the NFL. He's been over 100 tackles every year that he's been in the league. He had 130 tackles last year, 2 sacks and an interception. Man's a flat out dog. I don't think he's the best player on that defense. Put some respect on Nick Bosa's name. But besides that, like, he's a flat out dog. He's the next best thing. He's the top tier linebacker. If he can do it all from run game to coverage, he's the complete package.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, your list is solid. I had Nick Bolton at my number 11. I know he gets a lot. Like, I feel like your list is based off of tackles. You mentioned tackles a lot. You don't mention everything. You wasn't mentioning too much as a whole. You mentioned tackling or anything, but hey, I respect your list, especially with Nick Bolton. But you have Nick Bolton really high. But hey,
Nick Bolton is that guy, bro. I'm telling you, he does not get enough credit.
He is underrated. He does not get a lot of respect, but it's like number 4.
He's very underrated.
Yes. He makes that defense. After Chris Jones, he makes that defense go. A Super Bowl winning defense. Agreed. He makes it go.
All right, Dino.
All right, man.
You laugh, bro.
All right, man. So I'm gonna start with my number 10. Y'all know, I got Bobby Wagner at number 10. Top 5 generational. I mean, for the last 10 years he's been in the league, he's been a dog. I just think it's coming down to that time where he's about to hang him up. Obviously, I'm gonna be honest, there's not too many players that you can say is that guy from day one to the day that they retire. At a point in time, they fall off. That's just what happens. But I still think he's a top 10 linebacker. You already know what he's going to do. You're still going to game plan around him. He's still somebody that you're going to think about. He's still somebody that the quarterback's going to look for every time he's about to snap the ball. So you always got to put him in your top 10. And I just feel like he could still go out there and still give you some serviceable, minutes in that game. At number 9, I got Dre Greenlaw. Playing next to Fred Warner. I feel like he's the next best thing after Fred Warner. And like Lil just said, yeah, put respect on Nick Bosa's name, bro. Like, Fred Warner's that guy, but put respect on Nick Bosa's name. But right after him, I feel like Dre Greenlaw is the next best thing on that defense. He played 15 games. He racked up 127 tackles, 2 forced fumbles and a pick. And he also gets it done in the playoffs. He had 26 tackles and 17 solos in the playoffs. He gets his thing done. He gets his part done on that defense, and I feel like he's definitely worthy to be in the top 10. At number 8, I got Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton, man, like you said, Lil, he is very unappreciated. I don't think he's top 5 like in your list. I do got him in the top 10 though. He is a game wrecker. He played 17 games, 3 games in the playoff season. Racked up 180 total tackles, 108 solo, 2 sacks, 2 picks. He got it done in the postseason with 23 tackles, 15 of them solo. I mean, he does his thing, bro. He goes out there and he gives you what he could in that defense. He is the next best thing on that defense next to Chris Jones. So, I mean, in the back end, being behind Chris Jones at all times, I feel like he's just that guy in that whole linebacker room. So they bring somebody else in, I feel like he's just going to keep getting better and better, to be honest, because that's all they really got to worry about, the linebacker position. At number 7, I got Matt Milano. Y'all brought it up, man. Matt Milano, he did struggle early on, but he did come along very fast. He is fast too. He could run sideline to sideline. He could chase down any receiver. Matt Milano has been doing his thing for the Bills for the longest. He has a big task awaiting for him in the 2023 season with who they got offensively in his division. But I feel like he's going to excel. I feel like he has the ability to keep up with some of them high speed offenses out there in the AFC East. At number 6, I got Shaq Leonard. All I'm gonna say about Shaq Leonard is, bro, go look at, since he stepped in this league, how many times he gave you a season without 120 tackles. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. Shaq Leonard is definitely worthy of being top 5, but like we all said, man, his health, he gotta stay healthy. Without staying healthy, you are nothing. You're not better than the next man if you can't play. That's just what it is.
Shout out to the HBCUs for Shaq Leonard coming out of HBCU.
Facts. That's a fact. Where did he come from again? South Carolina?
South Carolina State.
Yeah, South Carolina State. Yeah, love it. I love it. At number 5, I got Tremaine Edmonds. I feel like Tremaine Edmonds, he's going to the Bears now. I feel like he's gonna really boost up that Bears defense a lot. On the Bills, man, he flew around every play. He jumped off the screen anytime that he was on the screen. He's just a game wrecker, man. You look for him. Quarterbacks look for him before they snap the ball every trip. You better look for him because he's gonna come and make a play. He's a sneaky guy. I ain't gonna lie. He's a sneaky guy. He's that guy that's gonna come around the corner and make a big hit. And bro, I always liked him. I feel like he's gonna do great on the Bears. I feel like he's really gonna vamp their defense up a lot. At number 4, I got Roquan Smith. Now, to settle y'all argument, if you look at Roquan Smith's stats and you try to compare him to Demario Davis, yes, his stats are significantly better. Not gonna lie. Bringing in 169 total tackles, 103 solo, 4.5 sacks, and 3 picks, that's significantly better. But as far as what a linebacker does for their team, that's the reason that he's at number 4 for me right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Roquan Smith, he's a dog. I love him. I feel like he's worthy of being top 5 in the league for sure. But I feel like it's an X factor with these top 3 that I'm bringing up. It's an X factor with them, and I feel like they are the staple of their defenses, except for one, but he's still a staple. And that's at number 3, I got Levante David. I mean, Levante David, since he's a big reason that the Bucs have had their success in the defense in the past. And that's just a fact. He's still doing it. I mean, he racked up 124 tackles last year, 80 solos with 3 sacks and a forced fumble. I mean, he's still a game wrecker. He's still gonna make your running back hurt. And I don't see him ever stopping. He's about one of the only good things the Bucs got right now. That he's about one of the only good things they're gonna keep. And I feel like he's gonna have to do nothing but produce from now on if he wants to see any success at all. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Bucs are years away from success again, and he's gonna have to keep that going unless he leaves. So, but he hasn't done less of that since he came to the league, and that's just a fact. At number 2, I got Demario Davis. Now, I think respectfully he's at number 2. Now, I'm not even a Saints fan. I'm not a Saints hater, but I'm not a Saints fan. But respectfully, Demario Davis doesn't get the respect that he deserves. And that's a fact.
Yes, he does. People know number 56 on that Saints defense is phenomenal.
Yeah, he is. He's phenomenal. But what happens when that defense struggles? Who picks that defense up?
He picks it up a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Who picks that defense up?
I just don't think he's number 2. I think he's number 3. That's it.
Bro, if you look at any of the plays Demario Davis has made, they always been in times of need. Any trip, any sack he made, time of need. Any tackle for loss was a time of need, bro. He is a staple. That he is the heart and soul of that defense right now. And they're going to have to build around him to get any better. That's just the truth. Y'all know that they always going to have a top 10 defense. They always going to have a top 10 defense. The offense is a little shaky, but they got a top 10 defense. They can build on their top 10 defense to build their team up and win that division every trip because we know how bad the division is right now. Demario Davis is that player that you could build around. Y'all already got Marshawn Lattimore, and I don't see y'all doing anything with him. Y'all got Cam Jordan. As long as he can stay productive and healthy, he'll be straight. Demario Davis is that staple in the middle of your defense. He calls the shots. He calls the plays. He's that guy, and he does so much for his team. That's the reason why he's at number 2. And we all got the same number 1, Fred Warner. Don't got to say much about him. We know the defense he plays for. We know who he is in general. We know where he's from. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Fred Warner's been that guy since he came out of BYU. That's just the truth. I mean, he could cover. We seen, bro. You see, You seen him clamp CeeDee Lamb in the slot in the playoff game, bro.
That was nuts.
Strap CeeDee Lamb in the slot, bro. That's a fact. That's an inside linebacker you talk about, bro. That's Fred Warner, man. Like, it's not a lot of linebackers that's coming out there and doing that to a number one receiver. And that's just a fact. But, you know, he definitely gets the respect he deserves, and that's why he's the number one on all three of our lists.
Yeah. That's our top 10 inside linebacker rankings in our opinions, man. Let us know in the comment section who y'all think we left out. Let us know in the comment section who y'all think did not deserve to be in our top 10. Let us know who y'all think had the best list. I already know it's going to be me. We all have some questions. I'm just saying, I feel like Roquan Smith being disrespected, being put at number 5 and being put at number 4. You got Levante David in your top 3. I mean, I'm not disrespecting Levante David, but he's not top 3. But
consistency, bro.
I'm also surprised you got Matt Milano above Tremaine Edmonds. I'm sorry.
That too.
Buffalo, Tremaine Edmonds jump off the
But it's
you
going
got Matt Milano above him.
No,
you do
I'm
too.
sorry. I do.
Nah, for me,
I think he was a bit better.
And I'm not gonna lie, and I was going back and forth, but the reason I said that is because I just feel like him staying with Matt Milano staying in the defense that he's staying in, he's gonna continue to produce. Tremaine Edmonds is going into a different defense. He got to learn a whole different system.
That's why I had him at the where
I don't think he's not going to be productive. That's why he's still in my top 10. But
he
I feel like Milano,
he has to show me in a new defense.
Milano has like the upper hand now, if you ask me.
Like the talent is there with Edmonds. I mean, let's be real. Edmonds was drafted in the NFL when he was 19.
Defense, Tremaine Edmonds jump off the screen more than Matt Milano. Just face value watching the game. Tremaine Edmonds jump off the screen a lot more.
Right, but that's the reason why. That's why I just put up what I just said, because
the same thing. All right, moving on to the next topic. We'll move on to the NCAA. We're going to talk about the Pac-12 conference, which is slowly dying as we know it. All these teams are moving out come the 2024 season. But going into this season, we're going to list our top 5 teams in the Pac-12 and who we think is going to win the Pac-12. Again, I'm going to start this one off. Going from 5 to 1. Number 5, I got Oregon State. So they bring in DJ Uiagalelei from Clemson. But honestly, this team, they're 5th best in this conference, in my opinion. I mean, they're still a sneaky good team. I got them winning about like 8 games this year. You're going to give these teams in the Pac-12 some comp, but I got them at number 5. Number 4, I got Utah. Now, Utah has been a sneaky team for a while now. They'll pull out some wins. I mean, they'll start off pretty slow sometimes. They'll have their moments in the season where they lose games. It's like, darn, Utah should have won. But for some reason, they always knock out those good teams and ruin those teams' seasons. We've seen it with them beating Oregon. We've seen them beat USC in the Pac-12 championship last year to knock UFC out the college football playoff spot. And we got Cam Rising. He's come back for another season. I feel like Utah, they're going to muster up about like 8 or 9 wins. That's my prediction. Number 3, I got Oregon. You bring back Bo Nix. They lost their offensive coordinator, but I feel like Bo Nix, if he can keep what he did last season and bring it to this season and take a step up. I'm not the biggest fan of Bo Nix, but he looked pretty darn good last year. All you have to do is continue that with that Oregon offense, who's fast, speedy. He's gotten a lot better as a quarterback. They got what they need on offense. They just got to put together. But I just think they're the 3rd best team in this conference. I'm not going to lie. I can see them getting about 9 wins, 9-10 wins. I'm going to keep it at 9-10 wins. Mind you, in my opinion, all these teams I'm listed in the top 5 in the Pac-12, they're getting 1 or 2 or 3 losses. That's just I'm keeping it real. Number 2, I got Washington. Now, I feel like Washington is the biggest comp to my number 1 team. I feel like Washington is slightly better than Oregon. They bring back Michael Penix Jr., who I think is a better overall quarterback than Bo Nix, Cam Rising, and DJ. Washington's, they sneaky. They beat Oregon last year. They beat a lot of good teams last year. So you can't underestimate Washington. They are on a come up, in my opinion. But hey, we will see. I feel like Washington can muster up 10 wins. And they're going to probably give my number 1 team another run for their money. And that's USC. I mean, you're bringing back Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner last year, Lincoln Riley coming back. They lost some talent, but they also got revamped with talent on that team. All the transfers and recruits coming in. Hopefully USC can get it done this year. Actually win the Pac-12 championship. Actually get a college football playoff spot. Will that happen with the college football playoff spot? I mean, who knows? It all depends on Caleb Williams and how they finish the season out or start it off. That's what's going to be UFC's thorn in their side. is how they start the season off or finish it off, whether they finish top 4 or outside the top 4. But that's my top 5 for the Pac-12 conference. I got UFC winning it in the Pac-12 championship as well. And hopefully getting a spot in the college football playoff. Hey, Dino, you next, bro.
All right, man. At number 5, I got Colorado, man. I got Colorado at number 5.
Nah.
Yeah, the big jump. The big jump. Nah, I'm joking. I
was about to say, nah, not yet, bro.
At number 5, I got pretty much the same thing, man. I got Oregon State. I mean, I feel like y'all brought in somebody great to actually build around your team. He's not the best in the nation, not what we thought he was going to be coming out of high school, but DJ is not the worst. He's definitely not the worst. And I feel like he was better than what y'all had. And y'all brought him in. Y'all got some good offensive pieces to around him. Y'all got some pretty good receivers, some fast, shifty ones at that. Y'all defense is a little underrated, if you ask me. But I feel like they have a chance to actually compete this year, be a top 5 team, get to a bowl game, and actually win some.
Top
number
5?
4, I do have.
It's a top 5?
No, what? Top 5 what?
You said top 5 team this year.
No, I'm talking about top 5 in the Pac-12.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, whoa.
I was talking about the nation. Whoa, you
I was about
crazy.
to say, whoa. I'm about to say, whoa.
You crazy.
All right, go ahead, though.
Number
Continue,
4,
bro.
Number 4, I got Utah. They're returning Cam Rising, who was one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12 already, and I feel like he's just going to keep being that guy going into the 2023 season. They lost a couple pieces on their defense and on their offense, but they do have young pieces that are there and ready to play from what I've seen. So I feel like Utah, they have been ranked the best in the Pac-12 for the last 2-3 years. But if you ask me, it was better than USC last year. That's why they beat them. But I feel like they're going to have a little slouch next year, but not too much of a big one. Number 3, I have Oregon. As much as I want to put them higher, I got to put them at number 3, and I feel like it's respectfully so. Bo Nix, he's coming back. He's coming back looking at having a big year. I think he's going to have a big year, but I feel like it's not going to be big enough to go over the 2 teams that I got over them. But Oregon does have some pretty good pieces that they brought in. They brought Treshawn Holden in from Alabama. He didn't really do too much at Alabama, but I feel like he's going to produce a lot more at Oregon, especially since he's going to be in a starting role. They got one of the best shifty running backs in the nation. And he's young, so I feel like he's gonna come back and he's gonna produce for them for the next probably 2-3 years. But at number 2, I got Washington. Like you said, Day, I do feel like Michael Penix is better than Bo Nix myself. But I feel like his offense is very, very underrated. I mean, if you look at his receivers that he has, Rome. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. It starts with an O and ends with a Z-E. I'm gonna be honest. But that one receiver they got Rome, and they also got Jalen McMillan. That duo in general, they became the first duo to hit 1,000 yards each in Washington history, which I feel like is kind of crazy with some of the receivers that they had a couple
they had
years,
in the past.
like a good six years ago. Mm-hmm. But those 2 are very underrated in the nation, if you ask me. And then when you think about their depth in general, like just who they got at number 3, they also got Jalen Pope, who had over 700 yards last year just to play in the slot. So I feel like they got a pretty good offense, receiving core. Their O-line is returning a lot of players. They're returning 3 of their 5 starters. So I feel like that's great for them too, as far as keeping Michael Penix healthy and keeping him upright. So I feel like that's rightfully so, especially when they went 11-2 last year. They beat Texas in the Alamo Bowl, and I feel like they don't got nothing but to just keep moving up. And they're ranked 10th right now in the nation. So, I mean, I feel like they need a little bit more respect than they deserve. And number 1, like you said, USC. I mean, Caleb Williams, the best college player in the nation right now. He's looking at going first in the draft. He's looking at winning the Heisman again. Ain't really too much to say about Caleb Williams. If you've seen him play, you've seen him play. If you didn't see him play, you need to go watch him play because he's really like that. But if you ask me, they have arguably, not really arguably, it probably is like top 3 offense in college football. If not number 3, probably number 2.
Number 2.
Their wide receiver core is number 2, 100%. I mean, that core is just stacked. And Rice is a transfer from Colorado. Mario Williams is transfer from Oklahoma, who came with their head coach. Dorian Singer, he's a transfer from U of A. And they also got the freshman phenom, Zachariah Branch. I think he's gonna play as a freshman. He's gonna play as a freshman, bro. Zachariah Branch is like that, and that's only a few people to name. Then the people that they got behind them, the Makai Lemons, who's a freshman. They got
Def.
The Jacoby. I can't even think his last name, but he's young, bro. They got some players, bro. They got some people that can step up and play, even if there's injuries, bro. So, and that's gonna be my conference winner too, is USC.
Your turn, bro.
All right. Let me give y'all some sense and some context to the blasphemy.
Here we go.
Y'all been spitting out there this segment as well. Before I got Oregon State, I think they improved at the quarterback position. DJ Uiagalelei, obviously he didn't pan out for what we thought he was going to be going into college, but he's still a good college quarterback at the end of the day. He may not be top tier, but he's a level right below it. You can win games on him. I think he'd be solid, and he's going to get you about 7-8 wins this year, and you'll be looking at a bowl game for sure. Before I got to go Washington. I like Michael Penix Jr. I like him, don't love him. I think he lacks a little in the passing game. I think he makes up for it in the run game with his size and ability to move. But I'm still not sold on this Washington team. They have talent to compete within the Pac-12, but I don't think they get over the hump and be one of the top 3 teams within that conference. At number 3, I got to go Utah, just for everything that Utah has been doing these past 2 years. They bring back Cam Rising. I'm surprised he still got eligibility. He feel like he's been there since 2016, in my opinion. But, he still got 1 more year left. This team just figures out a way to get it done. Like the past 2 years, you write them off every time. You pick Oregon over them, you pick USC over them, and they just prove you wrong every year. I'm not sleeping on this team no more. I think they have the talent to compete and get back to a Pac-12 championship. I don't know if they do or not, but they have the talent to compete with any team within this conference. At number 2, my number 2 and number 1, they both have their own question marks. But at number 2, I got Oregon with Bo Nix coming back. You also have Dan Lanning within year 2. So now he's kind of building a program that he likes. So I think they're going to get more stout within the defensive side of the ball. You bring in a top 10 recruiting class along with a top 10 transfer portal class as well. So you fill up a lot of those holes that left due to your old line. They were just seniors. They moved on to the draft and stuff like that. But I feel like they filled a lot of holes within that team. And I think they have a team to compete with the best of them in that conference. In my opinion, the only thing is can they get it done when it matters? That's always been Oregon knock. They always have talented teams. Their issue is just getting over that hump when it matters.
They always fold.
It feels like that one big game they always cough up. I'm not going to lie. And my number 1, be honest, like them, don't love them. I think you guys are way higher on them than I am personally, but it's USC. I got you. Just follow me. USC, don't get me wrong. You got the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. He's a dog. I don't know if he wins it again this year, but he would definitely be in that conversation again. They also do have a solid receiving core. I like some of the receivers they got. Some of them I have to see get it done before I put them up there. But they have a lot of young talent within that receiver room that can make some noise. But on the other hand as well, I'm not sold on their offensive line. Their offensive line is good, not great. I think when it comes down to those bigger, more physical interior teams, as far as like in Oregon, it's going to give them problems. Don't get me wrong. Especially, I'm not sold on a coach either on the defensive side of the ball. Like, let's be real. How much stock are you putting into Lincoln Riley-led defense? I'm not putting no stock into it.
0.
Y'all can.
I'm not gonna lie.
Y'all can, but I'm not.
Bro, I'm not. All right.
I didn't say you are, but I said you can, but I'm not. That's all I said is that you can if you want, but I'm not. I'm not really too sold on that team. I have them making it to the Pac-12 championship, probably against Oregon, and I like Oregon in there. If they play Oregon or Washington, I like either one for them to beat USC. I just feel like USC they're going to put up good numbers against bad teams. That's just what they're going to do. That's what a Lincoln Riley led team does. But when it comes down to the big games and the rubber needs to meet the road against good, solid defensive teams, well-rounded teams offensively and defensively, I'm just not sold on Lincoln Riley getting the job done. So that's just my opinion.
See, all right, I can agree with the Lincoln Riley take when it comes to defense. I can agree with that. The defense is kind of shaky on that USC team, but the offense has got a lot of firepower. But hold on, who said I was highly sold on them? I only said they're probably going to lose 1 or 2 games. I said hopefully they can get to the top 4, but I feel like they're going to be right outside that top 4 if they can't get it done.
Top 4 nationally?
They can. They were almost doing that last year, but then they lost to Utah in the Pac-12 championship.
I don't see it.
I got them at like 6. Yeah, they did. They lost twice.
That's what I'm saying. They lost twice, and they lost twice last year. That's what
they lost to Tulane.
You lost to Tulane in the bowl game.
But my thing is this: like, I think people get fooled because what they see on offense, and rightfully so. I mean, you're going to watch them play Stanford or something and put up 40, 50 points, or Cal and put up 40, 50 points, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, look at this offense. But then when it comes down to the big games against a solid defense, which always happens with a Lincoln Riley-led team, like their flaws start to show, and I think that's what's going to happen again. It's the same song, just a different verse, in my opinion.
Hey, actually, I can respect.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying. And I respect your list.
That's what I mean. I respect
the list.
He come like he knocks some sense into us. Like, bro, we all think the same thing.
I respect your list. I respect
we basically
your list.
think darn the same thing. The only thing is, I don't. Go ahead, Dino.
I don't really agree with Washington at 4 though.
Thank you. That's what I was about to say.
I would have put him at 3 at least. I'm not gonna lie.
Or at least 3.
I'm not putting him over Utah.
I like Oregon.
I'm not putting him over Utah.
I understand. I definitely understand. I definitely understand what you're saying. I like Oregon. You know I like Oregon. But
I don't think Bo Nix.
In my eyes, I feel like I just feel like Washington has a better returning cast.
They do. And that's what's scary.
Team. Like, don't get me wrong. Oregon brought in a lot of
Michael Penix. I'm not sold on Michael Penix.
But you're sold on Bo Nix?
Yeah, as a passer, yes.
All right. So you're not sold on Michael Penix as a player, or you're not sold on him as a draft pick? As a draft pick, I'm not sold on him either. But as a player in college football,
he is.
I'm talking about as a passer. As a passer, when you need to win a game, as a passer, I don't think he's that caliber of a player. He had like 2,500 passing yards last year.
That, bro, for a Washington team, bro, he was pretty darn good as a quarterback.
2,500 yards as a college quarterback. Come on, bro. In the Pac-12, come on, no. This is not the SEC. You're not playing against SEC defense every week. So, no. But like I said, athletically, yes. Like, he kind of is in that Anthony Richardson realm for me. I don't think he's as talented as a passer. Yeah, like he's in that Anthony Richardson like class. If you want to put him in the class with somebody, put him in the class with Anthony Richardson or KJ Jefferson from Arkansas. That's where he's at.
That's honestly, that's my prediction too. As far as who I got him compared to, it is like Anthony Richardson. But the difference is he has a way better team around him. That's true. That's the reason why Anthony Richardson. I'm not gonna say he had mediocres around him, but who's his number one?
He had your favorite college receiver. What you mean?
My dog Jay Shorts. My dog Jay Shorts. He was putting in work. My boy Jay Shorts was putting in work. That's Jersey.
Shout out to New Jersey for that, man.
Come on, bro. How you not gonna jack Jersey, bro? That's Jersey.
I do jack Jersey, but I still
they had Iverson Clement too.
Hey, but those are our top 5 Pac-12 picks, man. Let us know in the comment section what y'all think about our picks for the Pac-12 conference. Again, we will be moving forward with the Power 5 rankings going forward in every episode. Those are just our picks. Let us know who's tripping. Let us know who's not tripping. Let us know who y'all replace. Who think is a sleeper team in this conference. Who think is going to win this conference. Moving on to the last topic of the night. Wait, don't say Colorado. Moving into the last topic of the night, we're going to talk about the James Harden situation with him and the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden called out Philadelphia Sixers GM Daryl Morey over this past weekend in China at an Adidas event. James Harden speaking to the crowd, and he said, Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be part of an organization that he is a part of. Now, trade talks fell through with James Harden. No team wanted him. His desired destination was to go to the Los Angeles Clippers, but obviously the deal fell through. Obviously, two sides couldn't come to an agreement on a trade package. Pretty much, I feel like James Harden is very unhappy Khalil, what do you think about this whole situation?
I mean, from James Harden point, like, bro, what are you doing? What are we talking about here? So let me give you context of what's going on. Basically, from what I heard, is that James Harden had a $47 million player option that he opted out of and took a lesser contract of 32 to 35 million. I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but he took that contract to get a PJ Tucker and a Daniel House and stuff like that to build a championship roster around him. And from what I heard is that, oh, you take this pay cut now, we're gonna get you on the back end. Cool. But the issue is he didn't play himself into a contract that was worth, getting it back on the back end. He's not what he used to be. And I'm sorry, he did not play. It's no way I could look at what he did last year, especially in the playoffs against Boston when it mattered, and say, like, yeah, I'm going to. And he's mad and he wants to get traded, but he's the one that chose to opt into that contract with Philly when you had the chance to opt out. But no, you decided to opt in. And Daryl Morey went out there. He took phone calls. That's what happens. Nobody wants you. Rightfully so. Like, if I'm a team, I don't want him on my team because we've seen this now. This is his third time doing this. He did it in Houston when he got unhappy. He did it in Brooklyn when he got unhappy. Now he's doing it in Philly now that he's unhappy. Now it's just like, if I'm a team and I'm a GM, I'm not giving up no assets to go trade for him. Because who's it to say that he doesn't come here and be unhappy and now he wants out again? Like, no, I'm not getting myself into that situation. I think this is the best situation for him when you look at it from a standpoint is you're playing with the reigning MVP of the league. Yeah, you led the league in assists, but I'm like any top player playing it with Joel Embiid should be able to lead the league in assists. You get him the ball, he's going to get a bucket. That's just the nature of the game, especially how the way they both play together. They play so cohesive together. The issue is neither one of them performs at the playoff. So from the standpoint is my question to James Harden is, what are you looking for within your next team? Like, are you just looking to get paid or are you looking to compete? Because if you're looking to get paid, you could probably find a bottom tier raw team that's going to pay you money just to, sell tickets and put butts in the arena. But if you actually want to compete, you're not going to get a max contract and think you're going out to compete. If we talk to any GM right now, I'm telling you right now, they don't think that James Harden is a missing piece. Your best person who loves you the most was Daryl Morey. So you sour that relationship. Like, there's nothing else to turn to. I'm sorry. If I'm Steve Ballmer, I'm not giving up Paul George. Even though Paul George and Kawhi Leonard do not play enough games, I'm still not trading them for a James Harden or anything like that. So
yeah, right.
They're both in a lose-lose situation, but I feel like they should just come to a compromise, try to mend this relationship for whatever it's worth, because they done been through so much. I mean, Daryl Morey is the one that believed in James Harden in the first place and traded for him in Houston. So I feel like the best bet is to mend the relationship, running back with, Embiid, Tobias, and Maxey, and see what y'all could do there, because I don't see anywhere else that he's competing for a title.
All right, Dino, let's hear it, man.
I mean, it's gonna start out the same way as you, Lil. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, why would you even I'm gonna be honest, I feel like that was foolish and childish in the first place. Why would you at an Adidas event? Really? That's something that you come out and say at an Adidas event. Like, that was uncalled for, bro. You don't need lead a business in the business. Leave basketball and basketball, bro. What you doing all this extra for? Like, you literally, like I said before, he's literally doing everything in his power to make himself trying to be as much relevant as he could, and he's not. There's no team out there that wants you, bro. You don't have too much value on you. And like Lil said, bro, what exactly are you looking for? What are you trying to get out of this? If you're looking to get paid, bro, there's nobody that's out there looking to pay you what you want. It's not happening. If you're looking for a ring or you're looking to compete for something bigger, you are not going to go to any team that feels like you're the missing piece. They're not. There's no team at all that's going to want you that you think that think that you're going to fit right in there. It's not going to happen, bro. It's not. This is like your fourth team. This is fourth team. This is your fourth team already, bro. You're looking at going to a fifth, and you're trying to get out of there because you have some disputes with the GM. For what? What is the issue, bro? You're delusional at this point, bro. You're seeing that nobody wants you. it's in your face. It's not like it's not in your face, bro. Like I really don't understand this guy at this point, man. I really did like him at a point. I liked him at a point, but now he's kind of ticking me off. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Just at this point, bro, just hush up, sign the contract, and move on, bro. Just move on with what you got to do with the 76ers, because that's your best chance at winning right now.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I agree with both y'all. I'm not even gonna spend too much time on this. First off, I'm gonna say about this. I'm very confused about James Harden. Like, James Harden, you're not the player you once was from 2016 up to, I'll be generous and say 2019, 2020. I feel like once he left Houston, all things went bad for him. I mean, he tried to go to Brooklyn, tried to do his thing there. It didn't work out. He goes to Philly, which I think is still the best situation for him. You got Embiid, you got Maxey, you got Tobias. I mean, I think Tobias, he doing some BS. I don't think he's that good, but I feel like Maxey's the second option on that team, respectfully. And you're playing with an MVP, and you got a GM that believes in you. You're literally breaking that relationship up. Honestly, James Harden, him and Embiid play really well together. It's just like Khalil said, they just can't perform in the playoffs, which is infuriating to Philadelphia fans. I understand y'all pain out there, but at an Adidas event in China, you gonna say that about your GM? You gonna put him on blast like that and give your opinion on him? That's kind of childish. That's not grown man. Like, you got to fix the relationship. You got to fix the relationship with your team. Cause I feel like now the team's they're not gonna have issues, but they're gonna be like, yo, what's up with that? Especially Joel Embiid. You know, he just come out, he blunt, he say what he got to say. So hopefully Embiid gonna say something about it. Hopefully they'll speak about it in private. But he needs to fix his relationship with the Philadelphia 76ers organization. He needs to get things right. Like he said, like Khalil said, this is the best situation for him, I feel like, at this point in his career. Like, let's be real. To me, in my opinion, he's almost at the tail end of his career. He's not like a Stephen Curry who's 36 years old and still lightened up in the league. Like, James Harden's past that. He's past that point in his career. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie, for him saying all that stuff in China at an Adidas event, bro, his shoes is dog shit. So, like, they don't sell like they used to. They ugly anyway. Not gonna lie. But hey, you make more money than me, so I can't say nothing. So, but hey, that's all I gotta say about the James Harden situation. Just move on with the Sixers, finish your career out there in Philly, get your play right, actually show up in the playoffs and try to fight for a ring. You know, that's probably not gonna happen because Sixers kind of suck. But hey, fix it, James Harden. It's all in your hands.
No one else is gonna accept you
at this point. Yeah, he's gonna show up to camp.
Okay.
He's gonna show up to camp. Yes.
I got a follow-up question to that. If he does show up to camp, do you think he shows up the way he showed up in Houston back when he went it out? You know, we had the fat suit on, whatever.
Yes.
Do y'all think he comes in like that again?
I can see it happening because I feel like he's just petty. Like, when he doesn't get his way, when he doesn't get what he wants, he does stuff like that. And the next thing you know, he gets traded from Houston, and the man lost hella weight. It's like, what? It's like, what we doing here? Like, bro, you were just fat like a week ago. That's what I'm saying. You fat like a week ago, and you look super skinny. But hey, like that, James Harden is not the player he once was back, like, what, 5-6 years ago. That's over with. So he has to, like, play his role in whatever team he goes to. And again, like I said, no GM out there is saying that he's a missing piece to their offense.
Yeah, bro. I think he's gonna come back fat.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I think he's gonna come back fat, bro. I think I don't know if I feel like he might pull a different stuff. He might pull it. You know, he petty, bro. You just ain't petty. Bro, he felt like he needed to do a PSA about his NBA GM at a Adidas event in China.
The only reason why I give that like a little, it just, that was the first time he made a public appearance since, you know, they announced that they weren't taking any more trade calls. Like, James Harden's not going to be traded. He's going to be expected at camp, But it's just like, I mean, we tried to trade you, and there's no value.
No value.
Listen,
exactly, bro. You don't have
what more do you want?
Here's the thing about Daryl Morey, bro. You're not about to give him pennies on the dollar. That's not what you're about to do with Daryl Morey. First of all, he's usually the winner of the trade, i.e., when he got James Harden twice. He pretty much won both those series both times. Like, he's not going to give him up on pennies on a dollar. So if he doesn't feel like he's going to get comparable return from you, like, he's better off keeping you. So I think that's just the state that you're in.
That's a fact.
Facts. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comment section what y'all think about that. James Harden situation. Let us know how y'all feel about James Harden. Y'all think he's doing the right thing? Y'all think he was petty for calling out his GM? Or y'all think he was justified? Also, let us know what y'all think is going to happen with James Harden in the future. Do y'all think he reports to camp? Or think if he does report to camp, do y'all think he's actually going to perform and play for the upcoming season? Or do y'all think he actually forces his way out of Philadelphia? Let us know in the comment section. But that is the end of episode 5. Thank y'all for watching or listening on any platform you're on right now. We appreciate the love and support we've been getting. Hey, keep running it up, man. Run our likes up, run the comment section up, interact with us, please. We love your interaction. We love your feedback. We love putting these videos out for y'all, but we can't keep doing it if y'all not supporting, man. We need y'all support, man. This is a self-made podcast. Hey, we want to come up for real.
Yeah. So as little as $2 a month, you could do your part in supporting us. We are self-funded, so meaning we all work 9 to 5s. We take our free time out the day to come and do this, give y'all this content. So we really would appreciate it if you guys could come interact with us on our Patreon. If you do want to interact with us personally, that's the best way to go, is through our Patreon, as well as when we drop hats and shirts. We'll be giving discounts on our Patreon for our hats and shirts, our merch, our Before the Horn merch. So if you want any of that stuff, man, supporting us on our Patreon would be the best way to go. On top of that, we just appreciate any type of support you guys can give us in general.
Yes, sir. Just keep showing love. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, whatever you got. Before the Horn Podcast, Before the Horn Pod on Twitter and TikTok. We love the fan interaction we getting. We love all the conversations we've been having with people. We will be having guests on soon, so keep showing love, keep liking, keep sharing, keep sending it to your mom, your dad, your cat, your dog, your fish, whoever. Send it to everybody you know, because we appreciate everybody that we get in contact with.
Hey, follow all our personal Instagrams as well. They will be on the screen, also in the video description box. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for tuning in, watching, or listening, or whatever platform you on to Before the Horn Podcast. We shall see y'all on Friday. Peace.